This ship was slammed by early cruisers, who were generally already Cunard customers, not the princess and celebrity customers that Cunard were trying to steal. It's definitely been more evolution than revolution, and I'm not convinced that the guest queued much younger. I mean, one of my table mates was 93. There have been some significant changes to the entertainment offering, and some things have remained old school Cunard. Here, ladies and gentlemen, we go. Let's not faff around. Like all ships, the theatre is the main crowd puller. Lots of us head there on autopilot after dinner like a zombie herd. It's split over 2 decks, and every seat has a clear view. There are loads of wheelchair spaces at the back, and the seats are wide enough for even the most enthusiastic buffet fan. It looks way better in person than in the pictures online, where it can look a bit community centre-ish. For me, it's better than QM2's theatre, but QV's is still the GOAT. Samantha Jay was the headline attraction on night 1. She is a Swiss Army knife musician who plays piano, oboe, sax and violin. One at a time, not like a one-man band busking on a high street. Now, regular cruise tubers will know that I always moan when the show is one man or woman on the stage. She is obviously a subscriber because Samantha had a full band on stage with her. This is probably the first and last time I'll ever say this, but this show would have been better if it was just her. The whole point of this show is, look at all this stuff that I can do. But most of the time, it was only clear that she was the one because she was dressed more glitzy and did chatting on us between pieces. Beyond that, it often just seemed like an ensemble bashing out some music. The high point was the violin stuff, which was way more vibrant and energetic, like a Bond gig, and you could pick out what she was doing from the rest of the band. I did enjoy it, but this show really belonged in the Queen's Room. 6 out of 10. Imagination is a retro-futuristic song and dance show from the ship's company. I get the impression that Cunard don't know that it's retro. It's very much the stuff that Tomorrow's World used to showcase in the 1980s. Neon lights, arcade games and faux virtual reality. The showstopper is a plastic spaceship rocking backwards and forwards like one of those toys you get outside a supermarket that toddlers sit in. It broke midway through the show, so we all sat there in silence with the lights on for about 5 minutes or so whilst the tech got the spanners out, and honestly, that bit was an improvement. Then the show resumed with the next scene, and it's just not a good show. 4 out of 10. The Basetones are a vocal harmony trio. Now, it's sort of hard to tell the difference between people who are good at this type of stuff and people who are making fun or doing a caricature of it. It was okay. I wasn't bored most of the time and it didn't hurt my ears. But it's not an exciting show to watch. I mean, the most exciting bit is when they do the boys' own sit down or stand up. The Basetones are something to point your eyes and ears at whilst dinner settles down, but once you've seen them, you've seen them. And your ears aren't really in a rush for an encore either. 5.5 out of 10. I've often thought to myself, it's always musicals. I wonder why ships don't do more plays. About 30 minutes into Brief Encounter, I was thinking, this is why. It wasn't a trendy adaptation. It was clipped RP pronunciation, very simple staging, and let's be honest, the story is asking us to be on the side of a pair of skanks. People were walking out in their droves. I mean, not me. If I am going to hate something, I want to hate it all. But somewhere between the mass walkouts and the brassy friend turning up, it won me over. By the time the trains went their separate ways, I was loving it. 8 out of 10. Unfortunately, the following night's show was not a brief encounter. It was only a 45-minute show, but my word, it felt longer. John Martin is a cruise ship comedian. Now, this is not the same as an actual comedian. You are never seeing this guy at Glee or Hot Water. They probably wouldn't let him in if he bought a ticket. You might catch him at a haven or a social club. This was a step back in time and probably only half a step away from Take My Mother-in-Law. And I could only really recommend it to the terminally ill. It will make every second feel like years, and when the end does come, you'll welcome it. John had obviously heard about the award that I gave myself for sitting through Manuel Martinez and Kev Orkian, rolled up his sleeves and said, "Hold my beer." Minus 10 out of 10. A lot of people would have seen the title, No Town Like Motown, looked at the stage full of cheerful white 20-somethings and thought, I bet this won't be very good. Not me. I went in with an open heart and an open mind. And let me tell you, I was wrong and those people were right. The cast are all decent singers, but these songs, great as they are, just do not suit their voices. It was better than the comedian, but that's a bit like saying that a poke in the eye is better than a punch in the face. Now I'm being childish. It really wasn't that bad. But guy, it wasn't that good. 5 out of 10. There are daytime shows in Cunard theatres too. Generally a lecture of some kind or a frothy Q&A. On this trip I saw Heather Small, the singer from M People. It's not my kind of music, but I recognised the name and I went along. She looks about 40, but if she was the singer in M People, then she must be at least 80. She claims to be 60. It was half performance and half a Q&A. It wasn't life-changing, but it was a pleasant way to spend an hour on a sea day. The other insight lecture I saw was a dude who used to be the head Beefeater in the Tower of London. God, I wish he was still in there. I'm exaggerating, it was okay. It was just a bit dry. The kind of thing you'd expect to sit through on a school trip. To help me concentrate, I closed my eyes for 5 or 10 minutes a few times, and I got some really good concentration in. Club Cunard regulars will think that the Queen's Room is the chief support venue for entertainment. Well, it's been demoted to number 3 slot in QA. If you are new to Cunard, then you'll like the new number 2. And if you're old Cunard, do not panic. There is still plenty of ballroom dancing and a daily afternoon tea. That kind of dancing's not for me, at least as a participant, but I do like to sit with a coffee or a purple aftershock now and then and watch a bit of ballroom when I'm on board. There were a variety of musicians putting in shifts here, wave duo bashing out some Latin-flavoured cover songs, a sexy lady, a full band, plenty of different stuff to dance to at all times of day and night. If you're a dancer, which I'm not. One evening, the ship's company put on a show here called Songs of London. They'd been kicked out of the theatre for one man on the stage, jabbering on about being Aladdin in the West End. So, Songs of London it was for me that night. It's a standard issue cruise ship theatre show, and it should have been in there. The songs suited the performers. The dancing was minimal really, but there was enough to point your eyeballs at, and I enjoyed it. There was a bit of a weird moment when this old dude just tried to argue with me about the show for no real reason, demanding, "Why a Fleetwood Mac in a show called Songs of London?" I replied with, "Well, I can't really take the credit or the blame. Cunard barely consult me on these decisions. But if I had to guess, it's because Fleetwood Mac are from London." "What? Stevie Nicks is from London, is she?" I said, "No, I think she's from Las Vegas or somewhere." And he stormed off as if I'd just peed on his shoes. I mean, I wish I had now. Songs of London, 7 out of 10. Now, the newcomer and QA's number 2 venue is Bright Light Society. I suppose this takes the place of QM2's G32 or Vic and Liz Yacht Club. It's better. Like way better. Like giant zero-gravity moon steps ahead. Better. It's a cabaret bar punting out a mixture of free and pay extra shows, starring a cast of 5 who double up on characters with fast, cheesy costume changes when more than 5 characters are required. There are 2 ladies who, between them, are the straight men, doing normal acting and singing. In contrast to the dude who looks a bit like Gomez Adams, who's a good singer, but is always doing eyebrow-wagging and pulling faces for comic relief. On top of that, there's a guy and a girl who are incredible dancers. But whatever you do not look at their super intense concentration faces when they are performing. Away We Go is one of the free entry shows. It's the theatre equivalent of a magician going table to table to entertain people at a wedding. Wherever you sit, there is no getting away from the Fab 5 doing entertainment right on you, as they sashay around the venue, singing and dancing. There's a bit of chit-chat to loosely tie things together, and really, this show only exists to say, look, this is good, book a paid-for show. It is, and I did. 7 out of 10. Noir is a murder mystery. Sort of. It's an interactive show and lots of people are spoken to during it. But if you're obviously mortified, then they move on fast, so don't worry. Before the show starts, the actors mill around, canvassing the audience for joiner-inners, and they gently persuade people to take part. Not much persuasion was required when I was on there by the look of things. The joiner-inners were obviously desperate to take part. Fortunately, the Fab 5 have seen it all before, and they controlled these drunken drunks very, very well. The show makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't really work, and it's a lot of fun. Even for me, the world's most miserable man. $20 well spent. 8.5 out of 10. I was back again the following night for Let There Be Love. Another vaguely connected collection of singing and dancing that spins out all over the venue, with the female dancer frequently flung around the place inches away from bashing her head in on the walls, the ceiling or the floor. And it's entertaining watching high energy dancing, and even more exciting when you know you might see a horrific accident at any moment. The personality of the 5 really does come through during this show in the chit-chat and hearing their accents when they sing. And it is a rockin' topper to whatever you saw in the theatre earlier that night. 8 out of 10. I will definitely see every show I can in here on future trips. Once the show kicks out, the venue is opened up as a disco or karaoke bar, which is usually my signal to leave. But if you are more Benidorm than Ballroom and the Golden Lion has rung the bell, this is the place for you. There's a big screen up in the Pavilion. Whatever they stick up on there gets a mention in the Daily Planner, which is a bit of a shame for whatever squid died to produce the ink. Nobody ever goes. The screen works fine, but the sound is fluffing dreadful. Would you believe it? Booming music up here echoes like it's in a swimming pool. I don't know if turning it down a bit would work or if it's more of a structural problem. I mean, it works okay on Princess, so it can be done, but something is not right here. Either fix it or save the space and use it for the silent disco. The usual mix of lounge and pub singers are dotted around. Tastes vary, but the worst I saw was, fine. And most were pleasant background music. I mean, nobody made my tomato juice curdle. If you love QM2, then you'll be pleased to hear that QA has the same number of planetariums. 0. There's no cinema on board, but there is a daily matinee movie in the theatre. I don't know if the projection or sound is any good. The films as I was on board did not appeal, but I expect they are at worst perfectly fine. And if all else fails, there's a decent video-on-demand selection on your cabin TV, which, unlike other Cunard ships, is big enough to actually see. So, there you have it. Same, but different. Enough for Club Cunard, enough for the princess and celebrity interlopers. Entertainment on Queen Anne. Done.